Hey, so
That was
all
quick.
right. Everybody waves real quiet.
Hey,
Hey, listen. I know a lot of people have some fishy feelings about how this is going on right now, and we're gonna nip it in the bud. Okay, we're gonna so pass it around first with all the people here, and then we'll get back to the field in just a second.
yeah, okay,
Go,
very good.
go ahead, Roy.
I never know what's going on, so don't ask me.
What's going on with you, Roy? What's going on with you?
Oh, not much. I had a quick play with the 3512. Found out I
Okay.
like the 40 better. Not much else. Took a picture of the sky, Melbourne, the city at night, waiting for the red moon to come out, and it didn't because it's hiding behind clouds all the time. Not much else. Been
All
playing with
right.
tripods, checking all the compatibilities. Some of these Arca Swiss plates aren't as Arca Swiss as you think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
They're slightly off
Uh,
tolerances. And I've been playing, tidying up a little,
Hmm.
Getting organized there.
trying to.
Guys, my chat does not display on the
Hmm.
screen. I don't see the chat.
You
I don't know if you guys
watch
do.
mine.
Yeah, I see it.
You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah,
about two
I've
entries
got
in mine.
Yeah, David and Gustavo are the only
yeah,
ones that comment.
That's
yeah,
that.
I've got YouTube open also
Yeah,
with the
me too.
sound off, so I can see
Yeah.
the chat.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
same here.
All right.
Go ahead, Gasabo.
So I have been mostly working on gradually through the material that I took in Hawaii. So that takes me a while. So don't want to do it all day, otherwise too many hours sitting on the chair. So I have been spending a couple of hours every day going through the material. So hopefully you guys will see some material pretty soon here. Most likely during the photo review, and I got a couple of presentations. I'll give you a little bit of a preview later on. So that's what's going on me photography. I tried to photograph the eclipse, but we talk about the eclipse as well.
Hmm, good.
David, it's your turn now.
Okay, well, the night before the lunar eclipse, I went and I set up my gear to do some checking, and I had my 800 with my 2 times on, and it worked great, and then it was then the clouds started to come in, and then I went to change lens setups, and before I could get finished that, the cloud had moved in, and the cloud is still here. So, needless to say, I did not see the lunar eclipse at all. But real Nikon's lover's grandson has the right idea when it came to that because of the picture that real Nikon lover sent to us. And here's his grandson just grinning from ear to ear. And, and that's the best picture I saw of the eclipse.
And he's saying clouds. What clouds? I don't care about clouds.
Take her away, Randall.
Okay. So I updated my phone and it locked my SIM. So I had to go to AT&T to take out the old SIM, and they put the what is it? The new type where they don't accept SIMs. It's all electronic now
Oh,
inside the cell phone to get it back working.
oh my
And that's when I got Gustavo's message.
God. Okay.
The only other thing is I picked up a very cheap bag, all
Good.
right, 15 liter. It's 18 pounds, and it has all the lenses, Lumix lenses, and the S9.
Okay.
And it's very easy to, that includes the dummy battery and 10 external batteries for the camera,
Wow.
not including the battery in the
Wow.
camera. That includes the 24 to 105, the primes, I think it's the 18 to 40. So I have 2 zooms and the rest are primes. Great bag. So
Good. Go ahead.
I want to just say hi to everybody in the chat. I could see your messages. I can't. I don't have anything on my screen that's allowing me to type in there and say hello to you. So I'm just going to say hello to you now verbally. And busy day today. My friend Bob from Bob Bar Photos and I we took us some film cameras and we went to Georgetown, and I used my Nikon SP with the 50 millimeter f1.4 and the 105 f2.5 lens, and shot her all black and white. And we'll see how that comes out. And I'll be doing a video on that down the road once I get enough rolls of film to send out at once. I don't send them out one at a time, so it'll be a little while. But we had fun, and then he came back to my house and helped me put together an electric bike that I just bought for myself, so that when my wife retires, we could ride bikes together in the neighborhood, because she already has an electric. She has an electric trike. And so I thank Bob for helping me out, and I think both of our knees are throbbing, and we're feeling it.
All right.
So were you able to use that to follow Bob and that drive to the pier where the
Well, that's part of the reasoning behind it, is so that we could get out to, it's like a 1.7 mile one-way walk from the North Beach at Huntington Beach State Park to the jetty.
okay.
And it'll be a lot easier when we can ride out on our bikes at low tide on the wet sand and get out there in about 3 minutes and take pictures, instead of walking for 25 to 30 minutes to get there. So that's one reason for getting it. But we also had the opportunity to go to Santee Coastal Preserve, which is like an hour and a half away from where I live. And we went the day after a storm, and typically the day after a storm, the birds kind of like take a vacation for a few days before they kind of settle in. But we went there for the first time, and it's a wonderful environmental, well maintained by the Department of Natural Resources, and wonderful for wildlife. We didn't see a lot. We saw 3 eagles, but we didn't see a lot of anything else close enough to really get pictures of it. But the potential is there. But as we have both been warned, you don't go there when it gets warm enough for the bugs to come out, because the mosquitoes will carry you right out of your car and suck you dry. So it's maybe a fall until, maybe if you're lucky, the end of May time frame, where you can go out there and not get chewed up. So we're going to make many trips out there, and hopefully we'll get some really good shots.
All right. So now everybody has their say an hour. All right. You all know I've been trying to be the host of this show, and it's not working out. I can't spell anymore. It took me 2.5 hours to do the little thing on Wednesday morning, and it's horrible. I tried doing as much as I can, talking to Yunzu, and it's killing myself trying to get it done for you. So I am going to step it a while. I'll be in the chat, and we're gonna let this go with too many people, or no, it'd be good with people in our uh, of our people. I don't know any, and do this little ram round on the ground of little people taking the one period of the time. Y'all probably don't understand, but anyway, I'm gonna hand it off to Gustavo, who he can explain this for people so they understand.
Yeah, I think it was 3, 4 weeks ago that Chuck, when we have our get together just before the meeting, Chuck told us that some of the difficulties that he was having on particularly creating like the invites and all that stuff, correct? And then he said that he wanted to go back and being a panelist rather than being the host, correct? And I asked him, wait for a little longer so that we can that I can go back uh, in a couple of weeks after we had time to think, and I come back from Hawaii and I had chance to consult here with some of the panels on what to do. Now we went through the same exercise. I think it was last November, correct? So we were a little bit. We have already some. We were already prepared, correct? So Chuck is not going to disappear. He's just going to go back to the role that he was uh, over last year, and see what we do. But we're going to go through a transition. So I put a little
continue to be a contributing panelist.
exactly, exactly. So I put a little bit of a PowerPoint here after I have a discussion with Jeff, since we revamp our discussion that we have with Chuck and others on last November. And so let me share these thoughts with you, because obviously this uh, community is very dear to Chuck, correct? But it's very dear to all of us here. I think we have something very good going on here, but we just need to make this transition. So let me go here, and Jeffrey, you can talk what I'm looking for the
Yeah, and
right presentation.
I think we should all extend our gratitude and thanks for everything that Chuck has done for the community that he basically formed, uh, you know, many years ago. It may seem like 6 months ago, but we all know that's not true. It was quite a while ago, and he had a vision to have a show that was different than what was out there, um, to have engagement with the people in the chat, to listen to what the people had to say in the chat, and bring their conversation into the show and create discussion points on that and share. I always liked it when he was sharing his portrait sessions with his gear, and just gear talk in general, and everything Nikon was doing. And of course, back in the early days, there was a lot of things that Nikon needed to do better and quicker, and we had many of those discussions. And Chuck was always active with doing 2 shows a week, brought supported conversation and camaraderie with people on Wednesdays at noon, with folks that lived in Europe, different time zone, and supported that. And then would come on Saturday for mainly the U.S. market. And we all owe him a big debt of gratitude and appreciation for everything that he's done and everything he's going to continue to do as a continued panelist on any of the shows that we put together. So I hope everybody expresses their appreciation during the course of this show tonight. I personally to this day, I'm still extremely grateful that I had the opportunity to meet Chuck at least once in person, and his wonderful wife, and and that was a joy for me. And great guy. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And always be a friend in my book. And I'm sure he is to everybody here that's watching, and everybody that's on this panel. So I just want to extend my thanks to you personally, Chuck, for everything you've done and will continue to do as we move forward.
And as our since you are part of the community, you are the core of the community, Chuck, you need to keep everybody straight, correct? So that we keep the same uh, the same azimuth here, marching forward here. All right. So this is since you know I like to structure a little bit the thoughts. So I put this slide together so you can see how we're going to do this. Okay. So the announcements is basically we talk about that the Chuck decided to stop hosting the live stream meeting. We, including Chuck, want to continue the live stream gatherings. We all believe it's worthwhile keeping the community together. Obviously, we will be exploring over the next couple of weeks how to continue the Saturday live stream, and we will reach you for input. I probably will send to the regulars that we have the emails. I probably send an email with the help of Jeff asking for your input. Correct. Chuck will continue to participate as he said, but he will participate as a panelist because it's easy for him to talk and to express his opinions and the approvals and disapproval without having to type and have all the we release him of the responsibilities of sending the invites, setting up for the meeting, making sure that he hosted the show, switching the speakers and all that kind of stuff that he's doing right now. And we, as we already discussed on the option last November. So let me show you here some of the recommendations that we have last November. I think we want this community to function like a photography club. Non-profit is just a general channel that we have. Okay, uh, we are going to agree to volunteer hosts and panelists on a rotating schedule. Okay, probably you get stuck a little bit at the beginning where we sort out things with Jeff and I until we are able to grow this enough and find a way to do it efficiently among many hosts and panelists. We want to have a single platform for this community, not individual channels. That doesn't mean that the individual channel is not uh, valuable, but if it's going to function like a club, this belongs to everybody. Okay, we will have the regular live stream sessions, 1.5 hours. I think it's easy to watch that way. Okay. I will tell you later on, but we probably will not start immediately after this session, and we probably will start every other week, so to allow for this transition to happen. Okay. Um, One of the ideas that we have is to have a chair among the core panelists. But certainly first for it will be Jeff and I, just to try to see whether this is possible. A YouTube channel, restrict accounts, but that's yet to be determined. Now going forward, we would like to share responsibilities. Correct? It's like we discussed with Jeff. We don't want a single individual to have all the responsibility, and we share also on the monitoring the live stream chat. I think one of the things that I'm proud is the rules of engagement that Chuck put together and the fact that we have a community here that is respectful and has able to maintain some decor and level of civility. We will continue to have multiple panelists like we have every week so far. We will continue as we had done with the monthly photo review on selected imagery. Um, uh, we will have the try to do as much engagement with the chat, but we will encourage participation from the people in the chat to come into the actual meeting. At this moment, we keep the same time slot, but I think we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to try to come back first every other week, correct? And we'll explain a little bit more about that. Now, we will keep the current rules of engagement after Chuck original guidance. Okay, we will focus on photography and videography a little bit, and we will have polite engagement, support the community, and welcome all cameras enthusiasts. Okay? We will discourage no politics, no religious discussion, no trolling, just to make this civil environment where we work here. And the enforcement of this rule is a shared responsibility, particularly with regard to the chat. And obviously, we will try to discourage bad behavior. So, what is the vision? As I said, to function as a photo club, correct? You go to your local uh, live photo club every week. Well, you will come here every other week or to this share photo club where we share responsibility, ownership. Okay, we will start the transition this week. Actually, I will do some testing on a couple of things that Jeff suggested next week in terms of uh, uh, accounts and all that kind of stuff. Um, so we will not have any gathering over the next couple of weeks. Okay? So the next live stream will be the photo review, which is April 5th, okay, 2025. That will allow us to initiate and implement some of these transitions into a new YouTube channels. Okay? Next few gatherings, okay, will take place on selected imagery because Jeff already have that channel. That channel is something that you already recognize. You already have saved that as one of your favorites, so you get the notifications. So we will start in there, correct? And we will continue with the, as I said, with the live stream every other week. So the next one will be the photo review in selected imagery YouTube, and the general meeting, like what we have in today here, will be April 19th. Now, it is the responsibility of all here in the panelists and particularly Jeff and I. We're going to keep you abreast of the changes and how far we have been able uh, to do this. As I said, I also intend to send an email um, in the meantime to make sure that you can reply to me via email. The emails that we have from the people that have participated on the reviews, so that you can provide us with some input. Okay? So the next step is obviously, do we want to continue having a regular live stream? Last time we met in November, we decided that was a yes. I think obviously we do need critical mass, and Jeff is going to talk about this. Although I think the group of people that come here regularly, the 30 viewers, 40 viewers that we get, uh, uh, I think is sufficient to continue our discussion here. Uh, we have discussed about using existing accounts and on new YouTube account that need to be created. We are going to explore creating a specific uh, new accounts, but we're going to start by using selected imagery, correct? So that we already capitalize on the learnings that Jeff has. Okay, so uh, we have decided to keep the same time slot. The frequency we're going to modify, and we're going to have a little pause. Uh, then we will create that roster and schedule with hosts and panelists to allow for the people to go on vacation, but have all the commitments, take care of family, etc., etc. Okay, very important is we need to decide on a name because once we decide on a name, and that name will help us uh, uh, create the Gmail account, create the YouTube channel. So eventually we will have a name that is aligned with the YouTube channel, the Gmail account, the Restream accounts, etc., etc. Okay? One thing that we'll ask on everybody here, particularly those of you who have channels like Jeff and Leslie, Randall, Greg Wilson. I think obviously Jeff and Chuck is once we start this transition, we will ask you to rebroadcast the the the, the new channel so that other people can be aware of what's going on. Correct, and eventually migrate to this channel that has this kind of um, the function like I said of like a photo club. So that's actually one of the things that we want to bring to you today. So Chuck, we can open back to the uh, uh, question and answer. Hopefully, if you have any questions here from the panel, and if you have any questions in the chat, please, this is your time, and start suggesting names because probably we will need to get that Gmail account with the new name pretty soon. So any questions on the panel? David, Randall, Chuck, Roy, and Jeffrey.
I can add some additional commentary if you wish.
Yes, we do.
You do? You sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first off, like Gustavo said, it's going to become a two shows per month, first and third Saturdays. Now, what I'm going to do for the photo reviews is those have been a 3-hour show from 9 p.m. till midnight. And we've been pretty good about getting enough photos to pretty much maybe only have 15 or 20 minutes of time for laughs and jokes and other types of things for 20 minutes. But what I'm going to do is in the future, starting the next photo review on April 5th, is extend the show an extra hour so that we'll have 3 hours of photos to share, and then we'll have an hour, maybe slightly more, depending on how many pictures we get, to talk about current events in photography, do some sharing of things that we're working on or projects that people are working on, and extend the show by another hour for at least that first show of every month with the photo review. And then the intention is to, on the third Saturday of the month, have a show that's somewhere in that 1.5 to 2 hour window, and strictly talk about a lot of what we had done previously, where we see what the people in the chat are talking about, try to bring those discussions into the channel, try to talk about some of the things that we see on some of the relevant rumor channels, to stir conversation and share information about different brands. I mean, we may be Nikon leaning, but we appreciate everybody that's out there taking photography, and what brand you use is just a tool. Okay, you're choosing to use a certain set of tools, and what's more important is what you do with them and what you take with them.
Exactly.
And now I'm personally disappointed regarding the photo review. I mean, as I've said many a times, I don't want to have it where the people on the panel are contributing like 40% of the images for the photo review. The photo review is for everybody that comes on the show. It isn't to showcase the pictures that those of us on the panel take. Not that we don't want to share some of what we do, but I really want to see more photos. And now that spring is approaching, spring is here in some places or very close in other places, the photographic opportunities will present themselves, and the warmer weather will make it more convenient to go out and shoot, and hopefully we get more participation. And we have, as Gustavo mentioned, and Chuck I'm sure would concur, is we have a core group of people that have come every week for years that are exceptional group of photographers. And I miss the fact that we've kind of lost some of our female photographers. Not that we ever had very many, 3 at most, I think, at one time. And I hope that we can expand the show so that we attract some more people, some fresh blood to come in to the show. And fresh doesn't mean 13-year-old kids, although I would have no problem with that. But there are a lot of people 50 and up out there taking pictures, and our demographics tend to be 55 and older, and it is what it is. But we want to appeal to everybody, and we want to get more participation from women. We want to get more participation from people that are actively using their tools to create content with and share some of that content. And we got to figure out a better way of promoting our group to expand it a little bit and keep it healthy. And that's pretty much it, So we're gonna be doing some experimenting and testing of things between Gustavo and myself, and getting it so that on that second show of the month, I will try to be there most of the time, but I want to also have it where Gustavo can run the Restream account that exists right now, which and through Selective Imagery, and run the show on his own if I'm not available, and the other way around, because Gustavo is the traveling photographer, so I mean, he has images to get, and we have a great supporting cast of people that come on the panel that you see below my chin right now. These are this is the A team, okay, and we want to get more people from the chat to come in and click on the link and come in and enjoy the panel. We've had Terry come on a few times recently. That's been great to have Terry come on during the photo review and whatnot. And there are other people. Sometimes we've had Jeff Sluter has come on a few times, and Louise has come on a few times. And obviously some people are in time zones where it's a little harder for them to do it. But, we got a lot of work to do. We have ideas. Things take time. But at a minimum, we'll have the 2 shows. It'll be through the Selective Imagery, that you're familiar with how to get there. The thumbnails will show up there. The invites will be sent out to the panel members. I'll send the invites out to everybody, and we will keep things moving along, and we will try to make things better in any way that we can. And any feedback that you have, feel free to send an email with your comments to really anybody on this panel, because if you want, send me emails. I'll share it with everybody. I'm going to, providing no one in the chat has a problem, I am going to dig up probably from the next photo review. I will capture all the emails from the next photo review, and I will forward those email addresses to Gustavo. And in that way, if we want to send out a notification or a group mailing to everybody for whatever reason, we can do that. And if you have never sent me pictures before in the photo review, feel free to just send me your email address.
Exactly.
So that it can be added to the list of active folks that come to the chat.
Yeah. And we are fully aware that, for instance, in the case of the people in Europe, correct? That's why Chuck has the Wednesday meeting and the Thursday meeting. Eventually, we will try to explore if somebody in Europe can host as well, correct? But those things are going to come gradually, correct? We want to grow gradually. But the idea here is, as we do this transition, obviously many shows will be initially through selected imagery. What we want is this thing that Chuck created, this community, to live not depending on a person, correct? Because Jeffrey and I, we can we something can happen to us. Also, we can we have other responsibilities, correct? So if we share that responsibilities, correct, that group of that community will exist on its own, correct? Not depending of an individual. So that's the kind of the vision that we have, right? And I think that's what I said, like a photo club. And I think you guys, we hope that you guys can join us to make that a reality. Right?
And we may
Yeah.
down the road do what I did, what, 8 months ago, 10 months ago, where I asked for a one-time donation to help support the costs of the restream. Uh, we may do that again, so that it's a shared burden by all of us. And I'm not talking like big bucks. I mean, basically, on a monthly basis, if we got a donation that was equivalent to what you pay for a cup of coffee or a soft drink at a restaurant, it would more than cover the cost of the restream. So we're not asking for people to send $10, $20, $30, anything like that. When I did that one-time appeal to my PayPal account, and I got enough funds from everybody where it paid for Restream for 6 months, and that's when I did the show every week and until the end of December, and that's when those funds ran out, and there wasn't any. I did not make 1 cent out of anything anybody sent in. It all got used to pay for the $49 and change a month for having high definition restream capability. And so we may go forward and ask for that again.
All that is in the future.
But all that's down the road. In the meantime, we will keep everything going, and appreciate your understanding, hopefully, and continued support of the community and everybody on the panel. That's going to try to just keep things going as smooth as possible and make improvements as we move forward.
Exactly. All right. So anybody in the panel wants to make any suggestions already, or make some additional comments about how we're going to deal with these changes?
Since Chuck already has 1,000 subscribers, it does help when you have what is it? The minimum in order to get
Monetized is 1,000.
You have to have
when you
1,000.
start a new channel.
But if you have 500, you can do the coffee fund stuff and that kind of things to try to, enrich yourself by billions of dollars so that you could buy your own jet. I mean, I know a lot of people have been able to do that on YouTube, being able to flying around their own jets.
And Randall, that's one of the beauty of what we have here, correct? It was never. Some people see this as a way of creating a new business. I'm sure neither Jeff, Chuck, or yourself created a YouTube channel to make any money, correct? You created just as a mechanism to communicate with others, correct? And that would be the photo club objective, correct? To communicate. Now, indeed, that's what I'm asking you. And we're going to start in selected imagery as a core of this, correct? To start restreaming, correct? Because if we restream, let's say, for 3-6 months on the other channels, eventually people say, hey, what I need to go is to this channel, correct? That's where the chat is going to be, because the do with the restreaming
Okay.
is keeping everybody on the same place, just because otherwise, if they chat in your channel or they chat on Chuck channel, we will not be able to reply. But in order to migrate the community, which I do like everybody here, I welcome everybody when they come in. We will need to have this restreaming from some of you guys.
You never
All right. So now, first thing, um, everybody here can subscribe to the either for StreamYard, God, StreamYard,
Yes.
or command just restream,
Yes.
and you can do it that way. Then now, I just so everybody understands, I can't do it right now. I can't do this.
Exactly.
I don't have enough to say or do and to say what I want done, so I can't do it. So we're doing something. So they're doing something. There's doing something.
We're doing something to keep the group together, Chuck.
Yeah, because I love it. I really do love it. So they're still going to be doing this. All right, the people you should be doing this to get 1,000 people.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Exactly.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but you everybody come out one with a name and use that form on the what do you call that fleet suit wait when they put the student whatever.
The way that I see it is you've got two names to choose from right now. Yeah. And if we use one of those two names or go to a third, we're starting all over again. If we use one of the first two, then we got a place to start from.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's the idea here. And Chuck, you please, I don't want to interrupt you. Is to create something that has more permanency, because it doesn't belong
Yeah.
to a person. Chuck put the seeds on. Jeff
Yeah.
irrigated those seeds and grow up into this wonderful community, and we just want that to have his own sustain itself. Correct. That means that in the future, like Chuck pass it on to Jeff, and now pass it back to Chuck, and Chuck will pass it on to this, that we have the chance. Hey, Maribel, nice to see you.
Oh, great to see
Hey,
you.
Hi.
nice to see you.
Sorry, I just walked in. How is everybody?
Good. We're
Excellent.
good.
Haven't
You know,
seen you for a while.
you're next to the man. You know, you're next to the man.
Yeah. Just yeah, he's the famous one, not me. And you all. And you all.
See you.
No, we're talking about starting. Well, go ahead, Gustavo.
So we're going to start something here new, correct? Where we're going to create like a photo club, and we're going to share based on what Chuck initiated a few years back, correct? So we're going to go through a transition here again, just to allow for Chuck to obviously to be a panelist, but don't have to have the stress of having to put those pesky light invitations and all that kind of stuff, correct? So we're going to go through a new transition here. And obviously, we like to see Chuck, and obviously, we like to see you, correct? In the show, correct? But over the coming weeks, we're going to make that transition. So instead of being a community under one person. It will be a community over with a shared responsibility. Correct. So that's what we're doing, Maribel, trying to decide how to do this in the future.
The only
Okay.
requirement for Chuck as a panel member is he has to have the cat with him at all times.
Okay, I know.
He's stuck. He's he's downstairs.
Downstairs.
But I'm sure anything you guys do is going to be brilliant because you're all brilliant. So that's that. That's how I feel.
Look at all the
Hello, everyone. Hello. I just came from a tea house, so it was fun.
wow.
Yeah, so I will leave you be because I'm not the photographer. You guys all are. But thank you for letting me jump in and say hello.
No problem. Haven't talked to you in a long time, so I hope everything's.
I know. Yeah, you guys can
the
call
job's working
anytime.
out for you.
Mhm.
Yes,
Good.
it is. I am so happy to be back home, taking care of him, well, and vice versa, and being with the family and friends. It's been wonderful, just wonderful. I don't like the weather, but everything else is great. See you
Take care.
guys. Have a
Thank
good
you very
one.
All right. So anyway, that's the whole reason is you what everything's going to be new. So take it away.
Yes. So any opinion here from our other panel, David and Roy?
I've got no opinion on anything. I'm just waiting for the problems to start so I can solve
That's
something.
certainly not for sure. Otherwise, we start asking you a rangefinder, you will have plenty of opinions.
Yeah.
I always have one opinion at least on them.
Exactly.
It usually starts with,
What about crop sensors?
oh, I can tolerate them.
So get some. Hey, go ahead.
Well, I think
Talk
that
about it.
Roy likes the crop sensor. That's the 35 millimeter format. You know,
No.
nothing any smaller than that. But my background tonight, that's the Peace Bridge here in Calgary.
Yeah.
That's looking down the bridge.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
yeah, it's
Are you gonna be one of the people that hosts the job at the show?
well. I'm going to let Gustavo look after it for a couple of weeks before I step in, and
Exactly.
we'll see what happens, you know. But we'll be looking at that. But I've got a subject that I was talking to Gustavo and Jeff about tonight. It's not really politics, but it's getting close. It's on the 2nd of April that there's going to be a big tariff change in the States, and that's going to affect prices. And I was talking to a friend of mine in the camera business on the retail side, who I'll call Deep Throat, because he knows some information that it's about at that level. And he was telling me that one of the manufacturers has a camera that they think that would normally sell for $1,600. I don't know if it's Canadian or US or whatever anyway, because it's probably US dollars. But because of the upcoming tariff situation, they may have to charge as much as $2,400 to make the same amount of profit on this. And I think that this camera is not going to be released for a while until everything calms out. So anybody that is wanting to get something in the next 3 or 4 months, well, is buy it before April the 2nd, because there probably won't be anything new come out for a while until this tariff situation is all under control, because it's going to be wild. It already is
All right.
wild in Canada.
Good.
So obviously we don't know what the full implication of this is. I think uh,
Yeah.
the
But anyway,
speculating that even where the shipment come from, Thailand or Japan or China, how the chips stop in either Vancouver or they stop in Los Angeles, all that has to be sorted out, correct? And we will find out, but indeed uh, we will see how that impact the price of future products, correct? And so you have, I think you mentioned before, if you
Hey,
want to buy something, buy it now, correct?
see, Paul, stop all the why buy it. Wait till they get the cameras and all the stuff, and start get quit worrying
Exactly.
about stuff like that.
Exactly.
I got a question for Chuck. So
Go ahead.
Nikon and Red are going to be at the Build Expo at that B&H Photo is doing in June. And for those that may be interested in going to that, they have free registration is now open for that. So you think you may make a trip to New York to go to that?
I would like to. When is the date? The dates?
I just know it's in June. I'm sure B&H's website probably has the specific dates. I don't know the exact dates.
And they send me an invite, correct? Like you, Jeff, and I, we signed up for last week, correct? I can send that invite to Chuck, but definitely we have Ted and we have Albert there in the New York area.
Yeah.
It will be
Yeah.
good if they can join Chuck, but if not, they can be our corresponsals.
Yeah, you guys could go back and eat and drink at the same place you did years ago.
Yeah. Sounds good, Gustavo. I'd like to.
But there were a few things on Nikon rumors. Like I said, they updated the Z5 II from May timeframe to April, supposedly. Now, here's what's interesting is they mentioned Z9 II being a camera that may be appearing availability in 2026 with a development announcement late in 2025. So it would be interesting if they kind of time it like when they did the Z9 announcement, and maybe accepted pre-orders or something, at the end of 2025 and started shipping stuff in the first quarter of 2026. But that's all speculation. But it would be interesting if they kind of try to time it the same way they did with the Z9 coming out, the original one. And the president of Nikon has made a point of saying that they plan to incorporate Red video technology in its cameras in order to expand market share. So one can be, I think, somewhat hopeful that the Z9 II might reflect some serious Red content in it regarding video features. So we shall see if that really happens. And obviously, Nikon has had, I think we would all agree that we're somewhat amazed and maybe a little confused of how many sales Nikon has had on their gear. They'll have, an event for a certain amount of time where they knock the prices down on the lenses and the bodies. And then it seems like that campaign ends and they start another one within a week or so of the ending of the previous one. And they've been having a lot of sales for the past year plus. And now they're saying the quote unquote Nikon effect is drifting into the Red domain because they're slashing prices of the Komodo cinema cameras by up to 30%, up to $3,000 off of those cinema cameras. So, that's good news for those that may be doing more serious video and want to take that next step into something like that. But I think it's the changes are going to be interesting, and I think really, really good in future Nikon products coming out in the camera body arena, especially anything that comes out in 2026 and beyond. So I think they're going to whet our appetite here a little bit, and supposedly there's a rumor of a Nikon video camera, a video-oriented Nikon Red camera. Nothing, in the shape of a square, like a Red camera per se, but something that's supposedly similar to a Sony FX3 or a Nikon Z30. That's going to be a video-orientated camera, and I'm sure that's going to have a lot of Red DNA in it, and that's supposedly going to come out in the third or fourth quarter of this year. So, the Red, the benefits of Red, I think are occurring at a reasonable rate, considering that, they were obviously, from all reported commentary, was the engineers on both sides of the aisle really enjoyed picking each other's brains and challenging each other and making improvements to both the Red product line and supposedly some of their user interfaces on their newer camera offerings have a definite Nikon influence, and they're going to have a Nikon, and they're going to have a Red influence on the video features in the Nikon cameras. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next year or two, and I think it's all going to be something that people are going to get really happy, be excited about once we know more.
So potentially we have three things that could happen, correct? The C5 II, correct, which should be announced in April with a release in May. Then we will have the supposed video center camera, the Nikon Red collaboration. And then there is a speculation of two products, okay? Finally, on the C7 III, which there have been some recent discussions among the YouTubers, including Matt Irwin, and of course this version 2 of the Z9, correct? So we may see a little bit more than we anticipated. Remember when we went through the statistic, we should see only 2 to 3 cameras per year. If we see all that, will be up to 5. Unlikely we will see 5, but maybe we see 4 of those things that we were talking about here. Now, on the C5 II, I think, like we discussed before, that will be the end of the, notwithstanding the C7 III, but that could be the end of the revamping of the lineup, and they can start again with the next generation of cameras, correct?
You know what will happen is if the Z9 II, which it probably will, may come out with an Expeed 8 processor, let's say, instead of a 7, and then you go through the whole thing all over again. Okay, you throw the Expeed 8 processor in a Z9, and then eventually it flows down into the next version of a Z8, and then it flows and then all that technology, bit dribs and drabs, starts to flow back down to the lower end products, just like what we've been going through now. And then, as they say, rinse and repeat when they come out with a Expeed 9 processor and start it all over again. So, I mean, that's just how it's been for decades and decades and decades. So we kind of know what what the formula is and what the process is and how they do things. It's just a matter of the when and how fast.
So Chuck, before we continue with the general discussion, so put that I'm sharing, which is the Safari here. So because I do want, if possible, correct, for some of you to attend that. So that this is where the Build Expo in B&H is going not to be in the B&H building, so it will be different from what you, Ted, Paul, and Albert did. It will be in the Javits Center, and it's
Yeah.
the 17 and the 18, 2025. So definitely, I mean, the people that are in New York, like Albert, and the people that are nearby, it would be great for you guys to go and tell us. I checked the lineup of the people, Jeff, and I think Franz Lanting is going to be one of those that are going to make presentations again. All right,
That'd be great. He's a great guy.
and a great speaker. By the way, that that guy that I use in Hawaii for the and I went actually worked with France. Right, he was the guy for France at one time on that reserve that I visited. Right? So that would be good. But anyway, so guys, those that are in the East Coast and close to New York and can do a short trip to the Javits Center, so please do so and give us your impression. Chances are, and I think they already that you're going to be able to see some of those. Certainly the C5 by then will be available. Some of these power zoom lenses, some of the I'm sure that Red will have a present there with Nikon. So great opportunity for you guys to tell us what's going on, get first-hand experience.
Yeah, you'll have to mic up so you can interview some of these people.
Exactly.
Randall's got some mics that he could send out to you guys to use.
Yeah, Randall, you can always make a road trip.
Oh, he's trying to go in dark mode.
I'm doing a Mosman. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the Westcotts. Was it the U60s? I think so.
Okay. You always had a good lighting there for sure.
Yeah, I like the white better than the yellow.
I got lazy tonight and I just put more lights on in the room and I didn't pull out my other ones, you know. I figured that way I look like I have a tan.
I've got a light bulb.
A light bulb, yeah. Well, if I put one in my mouth and it glows, we have a problem.
What is that? What is that character from the Adams family? You know that Uncle.
Uncle Fester.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, you have the haircut already.
Yeah.
Well,
All you need is a light bulb.
I guess Tim, aka Mosman, sometimes calls me Mr. Clean.
Exactly.
You know, and hey, if you really out there to the manufacturer of Mr. Clean, if you need somebody to do commercials for you, I am available.
Exactly.
And I am relatively cheap.
But hopefully will not be sad, Mr. Clean.
Yeah, not sad, Mr. Clean.
Uncle
That's only if the scrubber doesn't really work.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, we got a lot of people that we only see we have 26 people.
Okay.
We need to get that up to 50.
Yeah. We gotta hit
At
50
least.
at least, yeah. And be steady with that, not have it go from 26 to 10 and then 12 and then well, I remember Chuck when I was on with you and you were doing the 2 shows, and we used to laugh because it would be the Saturday night show, we'd cross that 12 a.m. point or 12:30 a.m. point, and then just as the subscribers or the people watching had gone down, we hit a certain time point where they went up again because the people in Europe woke up and they started watching, and then the numbers went back up. And Chuck would be like, yeah, I'm getting ready. We're getting ready to call it a night. And then a thing would perk up like 10 or 12 people. And then he'd say, well, I think we're going to keep going for a while.
Yeah.
We see, Chuck, how I mean, it would be, again, I like to grow it up, but I actually like the people that we have here.
Oh, we want to
Well, true.
So
True.
we
And
need
we
to
wanna
keep
pull
the
in
same
new people.
spirit. Right? It's easy to grow slowly on more people, but to keep the same character of what we have in this in here.
You remember we had at least 3
Exactly.
females.
want to get our 3 females back.
Eva, Anita,
They were great. They were all great photographers in their own right, and especially, hey, if anybody lives near Nancy, now that she's retired, we would think that, and she bought the new lens. She was buying some new lenses, so we got to get
Exactly.
Nancy back to share some images from these new lenses that she got.
Exactly, and living close to the coast, so that for sure.
She is on the right coast versus the left coast.
Now she's in the south, so
Yeah,
Anita's here.
yeah.
Hello, Anita, how are you?
There we go. That's great. That's one
Yeah,
of the
right.
gang of 3.
Exactly.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
so Chuck, let's because I think since we're not going to have another show, as again, put the invitation here for the photo review, right? And I let Jeff again make the plea for it, right? So
Yes, you guys really don't want me to break down and cry on the
not that
show
Jeff. So
and beg
here the slide,
and
Chuck.
beg. That wouldn't be good. But
Those people are. We have to. We hit the. Well, right now the only thing we'll have is the photography show
Mhm.
in April, and then in the next grip or next shape
Show.
will be 16 or 19
That's
April.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's right.
all these people are going to be ready to shoot each other.
Well,
So
and Jeff was reminding me that now that we got the spring, people will be more willing to take the cameras out and start shooting, correct? So we
Yeah.
should be able to have our regular quota of 60 to 80 photos
Yeah.
for the photo review.
It's nice to always have at least between 60 and 80 images, but I want it to be 60 to 80 images with less of them coming from the panel and more of them coming from the people in the chat.
Exactly.
yeah,
Because
all right.
it's not about us. It's about you guys.
Exactly.
We're just think of us. We're just facilitators. Okay, we're facilitators. We
Yeah.
facilitate the opportunity for everybody to get on board and do something together and share things. We're just
Yeah.
facilitators. We don't want the show to be us. We want the show to be you guys throwing more at us that we have to do.
Yeah, and Nikon is talking about the new F mount adapter for the old D lenses. I'm sure there will be people in this audience that will buy that adapter, and obviously we will have the adapter mascot.
Guy with a Leica shirt on.
Me.
I wonder if that's
Yeah,
coincidental.
and try it out.
Yeah, I
So-
meant to say something about that earlier. Somebody wearing a Leica shirt. I wonder why that is. But
That's why Chuck moved him where he is, so we can't read Leica anymore.
well, what I hope, when that adapter comes out, and it'll be, I think it's shameful. I'm gonna be honest here. I think it's shameful that it has to be done by a third party company
Yes, agreed.
rather
Shame on
than
Nikon.
Nikon themselves. I think that's shameful.
Monsters got a lot of adapters there.
Yeah, but I also caution everybody who thinks for a minute that adapter is not going to make your old autofocus lens perform better than it did 20 years ago.
Exactly.
You know,
We can hope.
it's not going to, like, all of a sudden make the thing focus faster. You know, so that there is going to be a vocal group of people. It's going to be split. You're going to have people that are going to be like crying and hugging each other and all happy as can be that it comes out, and then unfortunately you're going to have another group of people that are going to poo-poo it and say, "Oh, well, it doesn't do what I thought it would be able to do." That's human nature. I mean, that's what's going to happen. But I'd rather have something be out there
Then nothing.
that gives people another option.
Exactly.
And I think that's the most important thing. And hey, if you buy it from a major retailer and you try it and you don't like it, they'll just send it back and get your money back. That's basically what it comes down to.
Wow. Yeah. No, for sure.
That's right.
But
So anyway, it's going to be it's rough work. So we don't have anything else after this this show. When we'll wait until they get 15 it's 20 20 yeah, that's 20 days, isn't it?
Yeah, before exactly. So we're going to
Yeah.
skip 2 Saturdays before we go into the photo review, correct? And in the meantime, as I said, I'm likely to send some emails to the people that are here regular, just to make sure that they can communicate back to us with some of the ideas, particularly on the name, correct? And that we want to have to the show. And in the meantime, we will be experimenting how this work, because obviously we want to make sure that it has that level of that we can maintain it in the future, right? And
Yeah.
that is important. But look, there are good things, good things to know. Obviously, if something strange happen and we have, the release of the Z9 too, I guarantee you we will have a way of talking.
yeah, if something world breaking occurs in the next 20 something days, we may do an emergency show.
I want to use my DF lens again, DC lens, the focal,
All right.
defocus.
The defocus control
Mm.
lens. That's a fun lens.
I want to use it again.
Yeah, I got one of those on my F4S right now.
So you see the comment from
Beautiful
Albert.
portrait lens.
Yep.
So what's that?
That's one of the two defocus.
All right.
Beautiful lenses. Too slow.
Well,
Too slow. This is the 105.
All right.
135 is like the
Okay.
Planet, but older.
Yeah, much older.
Much heavier too.
but it's still a great lens.
Okay, would you have?
We'll go back to the to the slide that I'm sharing because Greg is asking some questions. So let's do a reminder here. Okay.
Okay.
And then we go back to you, Mr. Roy. We want to have that discussion on the Nikon F3 autofocus a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Jeff was interested on that one. So indeed, the monthly photo review will continue in 2025 for a long time, right? We don't know exactly when, but will be done in Selected Imagery YouTube channel, all right? So the first, we will keep the photo review first Sunday of each month. The next photo review will be Saturday. Oh, sorry, the first
Saturday of every
Saturday of every month. So the next photo review will be Saturday, April 5th, 2025. Yes, Greg, you need to continue sending your photos to selectedimagery1@gmail.com. Okay. Until we have this new channel, this new entity that will take a few weeks, a month, probably a month. Okay. Format will be JPEG, 2080 pixels on the long end. Slightly bigger is okay. Jeff, if you have something that you need to show the resolution, please do. Obviously, no full resolution, but make it something that we can appreciate your craft. Deadline is the Friday before the photo review, but we prefer that you send that by the Friday, April the 4th of 2000. Lunchtime, David Overman, lunchtime, not after lunch, long time.
Yeah, and right now we only have, well, a little bit more than we had 14 up until what Randall sent me. And Randall, I haven't opened yours yet, so I don't know how many pictures you sent me, but it's 14 plus whatever Randall sent in. So
5 plus.
5 plus. So let's say we're at 20, but we got a long ways to go if we want to have 60 to 80 images. And it would be very, very gracious of everyone where I don't get the other 50 or 60 on Friday, April 4th.
I remember, because we're not going to have shows until then, it's more important that you remember and try to send as much as you the photos if you have them available next week. That's what I'm going to do. Correct. I'm going to select my 4 photos and send it to Jeff probably on Monday so that I don't forget. Correct. So please do send it quickly here. Okay.
And if you have not sent images before, but you want to be on let's just say a mailing list, if we need to, inform everybody of things that are going on, send your email to me, and I will put together an email list of everyone that sends in pictures for the photo review and people that maybe don't want to do that, but want to be on a mailing list to be kept up to date what's going on. Send me your email. I'll put all that together and I will send it to Gustavo and Chuck, so that at least the 3 of us who have been kind of managing the shows here have all that information so that we could keep you up to date and informed.
Yeah. And Greg, yes, you can send 50 photos to Jeff now, and we will paste them through the coming month.
Yeah, and but I look forward to see what everybody comes up with. Like I said, with the warmer weather, there's less excuses not to get out and get some nice pictures.
So anyway, so that's the reminder, and of course we will do. So what format that we will take? We probably will do in the general meetings, like Jeff was saying, our discussions on rumors and news. Then we will have hopefully presentations. I have been putting some presentations. I actually have 2 presentations in the making, and I will show you later on a little video of one of those presentations about the Kilauea volcano, since I was there, and you will see some of the footage that I was able to have. So we will have at least some content for today, and I have another presentation in the making of remote triggering, and we will encourage other people to participate. I think we have wonderful presentation from Eva. We have wonderful presentation from Paul Escubarazzi, Martin Hills, David,
Louise.
Luis. I mean, that's the kind of things that we would like to see coming up in the future. We have here Mr. Tim joining us today with a friend.
He's listening to Deep Purple right now.
No, I heard you guys wanted some different pronouns in, so I brought a friend.
Got a friend. Not very talkative though, your friend.
No, she's great like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you have one-sided conversations, or what?
What I say goes.
And no arguments.
No
That's
arguments. Yeah.
That's right. It's a peaceful existence.
So Tim, after Jeff and I struggle a little bit with some of the things that we want to do, we will consult with you, since you are certainly more technically advanced than the two of us together, okay? Just to make this transition effective. And as you probably heard before, we're trying to create this that has some permanency, but by being like a photo club, correct?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I also think it might help. And I know that a few people are against social media, but it might not be a bad idea to have some sort of central area where people can get updates.
Exactly. Actually, that I was thinking about that we probably Tim will when we do this transition. One of the things, since now it will not belong to Jeff or Chuck or me. We will probably create a social media account, Instagram or Facebook, which I don't particularly want to, but don't want to participate, but to promote the channel and to have some information distributed to social media, that would be great. But it will be under the new entity, correct?
Yeah.
I'm not going to create a personal Instagram channel or Facebook, but once we do the transition, we can create those other avenues of posting the shows and disseminating information.
Absolutely. And also, it's a great place to solicit feedback.
Exactly.
If people have ideas or there's certain things they want to talk about or see on the show.
Exactly.
It's just an easy way to do that.
Exactly. And then we cannot take it personally, because it's not. Yes, people can be nasty even to the people that are in the panel. But
All I gotta say is I don't care what you want to see. I'm keeping my clothes on.
Nobody said OnlyFans, Jeff. We were thinking Instagram or Facebook.
Exactly. You see, that's what we miss. I cannot do that. I'm far too serious for this. But anyway.
Hey! This is coming from the guy that has a bodiless woman next to him.
How's that?
Oops. But hey, just like we did in November, we survived. We kept going.
Exactly.
We'll survive. We'll keep going, and we'll adapt, and we'll try to improve. But we want to keep the core folks, the people that have been here for the long haul, and we want to expand it, but we do not want to lose this fine group, anybody in this fine group of people that we've had over the last 4+ years.
Yeah. The other thing, and the other thing that we wanted to talk a little bit of, obviously, we have the eclipse, correct? And we talked a little bit about that before. I sent to some of you, the eclipse is calling, because I forgot to mention it last week, correct? So I think the great majority here did not have a chance to photograph the eclipse. The weather was not very conducive here, but and here in the chat, let us know if you were able. I know I think the closer that we got to any photo was Jim, a real Nikon lover. For everybody else, it was kind of clouded. All right, David was no luck, and I didn't have any luck. Uh, Chuck saw it, but did not have the chance to photograph it. And I don't know, Jeffrey, you came out and tried to even look at it.
Try. I didn't. I'll be honest. I won't lie. I didn't even try.
And I don't know, Tim, if it was bad in your area as well.
Yeah, I didn't even try. Honestly, I didn't try. I find myself having enough moon photos, to be honest with you. Like every time I take more photos, they just, they all look the same. It's hard to get excited about. Honestly, it really is.
No, I know, but it was a good assignment.
Only if
Yeah.
you get the image of the guy eating the cheese on the moon, then that's worth it.
Yeah, I think if I had opportunity I didn't have time to go anywhere, but I think if I had an opportunity to have some good foregrounds or some good landscape in the background, or some way to frame it, I would definitely do it. But
I keep trying to, since I am the pathway to Denver International, to get the moon and the plane going through.
yeah.
That's what Photoshop is for, Gustavo.
No. I'm a masochist. Hey, I lost you. I didn't see you. I say, what happened to David?
Oh no, I'm hiding. Chuck figured that since it's got Bosman
No.
on there, he doesn't need me anymore.
Hey,
I thought that Tim bumped you out.
We figured you were just leaving. We figured you were just leaving to shave your mustache.
Hey, David, tell us the truth. When was the last time you shaved your mustache? When you were 14?
I figured David left to photograph the aurora behind me.
Exactly.
We got Manila Martin watching from the Philippines. That's cool.
God,
Watching from the Philippines.
So
Oh,
we
I'm back.
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah, and no Chuck.
my,
have,
that's okay. That's okay.
Chuck eliminated himself. Wait a minute. You're not supposed to do that.
No, that's okay.
so Chuck, let me share the so for you guys, correct? I'm going to put a little presentation about the Kilauea volcano that I visited last week. So in order to give you a little bit of a preview, let me see if I can share. And we tried this before, and it worked. Correct. Let me try to see if I can share. And Chuck, am I share? Yeah.
Hey, you need to change quick. Just move those arrows a little bit closer.
See if you can share it, Chuck. Okay. So let me see if I can run it now. So this was so I went the day of the eruption. I went in the morning, then after lunch. But by far, this would be the recommendation. The most spectacular time actually was at sunset and later on at night. So let me see if we can share. So this is the kind of.
Bill,
It doesn't run now. We tried before.
yeah.
Yeah,
There we
now-
go. There we go. It's working.
Do me a favor, move it.
Yeah, move the cursor out and it'll disappear.
Yeah,
Exactly. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, it's working.
I just did the mouse pointer. Yeah.
Yeah. So I shot it at 120 frames per second, so you can see it a little bit in slow motion. Obviously, when I put a little video together with some information about the volcano, I will put it up. I think it looks better at right speed, right? But when you play it first, just to check on the quality of the videos, it plays at the at the 120 frames per second. So you can see now it accelerated. So this is to come, guys. So we were working that little presentation. So I have, as I mentioned last week, the opportunity to. So let me go back here to our regular show. So I have the opportunity to shoot that. Where is it? Hold on a second, guys. Okay.
I think I missed. What lens did you shoot that with?
So I think I shot this one with the 100 to 400. So
Oh,
so I shot it with a tripod from the visitor center. So the view was spectacular. Okay? But we went several times. We were there in, I think it's called Volcano Village. So we were like a couple of minutes. So as soon as that erupting, fountaining, we were able to go into the park before a lot of the people from other part of the islands were coming. So we were very lucky to see it, and it is highly recommended. And since these episodes are, uh, 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 you know, somewhat predictable when they start in the eruption cycles, provided it's not what they call a rift eruption that goes out of the caldera. Those are very safe to watch, right? So I will make some. I will put together a presentation, put some of the video, but at least we know. Remember last time Jeff tried to share the video, it didn't work. At least this time it seemed to work. But this is only like a 1 minute, so I did a lot of 1 minute clip, but it was truly spectacular. So I would recommend for you that have the opportunity to travel there to keep an eye if by the chance that you are there in Hawaii, if there is an eruption that you can see it, because it's really, really good.
I just want to comment and say hello to Albert and just say that I'm happy that your folks are feeling a bit better and doing better. And Albert says he's going to be able to join us more often, and that's great. I think we all know how difficult it is as our parents age and require more attention and more help from us, that it's difficult for everybody. And so I'm glad that they're doing better and happy that you're with us in the chat tonight. And I think that's great. And hopefully, and I appreciate you, those of you that are being very kind to me about me popping in here tonight. I appreciate it, and hope everybody is doing well and out there getting pictures for the photo review on April 5th.
And Albert can mention all the exotic lenses adapted that he used to take the picture for the photo review.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to sign me up for one of these series? Come on.
Yes.
Are you going to sign up for one of these Are you looking?
Phone ringy dingy.
yeah. Well, David and Mosman are talking to each other. Okay.
Hey, Rhino, are you going to sign up? Be one of these. Are you listening? You hear me?
Knew what?
To sign up, be one of the.
Presenters for the
Yeah.
panelists? Yeah, I'm thinking about that.
Okay, good.
And we're going to talk after the show because I want to support
Right,
the.
good.
We'll figure out what to do.
All right, good.
Exactly.
I'm trying to push a little help there, bud.
Exactly. Hey, and Roy. So since you can you show that since Mr. Jeffrey has been basically
F3.
preoccupied with
Roy's probably one of the few people. Well, we all know that Roy has the unofficial Nikon museum. So he has the F3 autofocus camera, where the autofocusing mechanism was in the pentaprism. You could see it's the size of a baseball sitting on the top, and that did all the hard work. in terms of working with developing the autofocus lenses for that camera. And Roy, was there 2 or 3 lenses that they made?
2, the 80 and the 200.
Okay. So Roy's got the lenses as well, and I've
Just have to
looked at
remember where I
those.
put them.
If you wanted to have one of those, if you're a camera collector and you want to have one of those, let me tell you, they're hard to find, and they're harder to find good ones. So
And hard to find cheap ones. So they're really
Yes.
overpriced now.
yeah, there are certain cameras that you would find if you start getting into the collectability. Is that there are many cameras out there that go up for sale where people literally are asking twice what they're worth. And
This is one of them.
yeah, and being someone that has collected cameras for well, decades basically. I had a large camera collection which I got rid of when I moved to South Carolina, and now I have a more, I think, selective grouping of cameras, better quality than I used to have. But there's stuff out there, you look at it and it may look nice, but man, these people way overcharging for them, and I think maybe something I'll put together for a future show would be things to look for when you are considering buying a vintage camera. And let's just say, for most of us, vintage would be say 1950 and subsequent years after that. There are a handful of us that may buy something from the 30s and 40s, or even some folding bellows cameras from the early 1900s. But for the most part, people tend to look at stuff from the 1950s on, from when the Nikon F came out, and maybe some of the higher end rangefinder cameras that came out prior to that. And but I think I've been doing it long enough where I can help identify things that you need to look for, so that hopefully, or questions that you should ask. And unfortunately, you can ask questions of a lot of people that are selling stuff, and you'll find that 95% of them either don't know how to answer your questions or simply don't answer your questions. So you have to be very prudent and zoom in on every single image that they show on whatever, whether it be an auction or eBay or KEH or any of them. You have to really be meticulous in zooming in and looking at every pore, nook, and cranny of anything that you want to buy, because
There's only about
you get screwed. You can get screwed really easy.
they're probably getting 2 million people that are doing this.
Yeah. And most of what's out there is reality is most of this stuff is bought by people that probably never even shot a camera, and they find one at an estate sale, and then they go and they look and see what people are selling for it on eBay, and then they don't even know if the thing works, and then they price it right up there at the high end of the price point, and they can't even tell you if the thing works. So you got to be really careful, really careful.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Don't be afraid to ask for other photos.
Yeah. Ask for extra photos. If you see something that looks a little fishy, say, I want another picture of this, or but I can make up a hit list down the road of questions to ask and things to try to look for when you're looking at the pictures. And sometimes, and part of it depends on how handy you are with working on cameras too, because you may be good at cleaning the outside of a camera, but you're not going to be replacing a shutter curtain, or you're not going to be doing certain things. And like I said in my last video, for the first time, I did a replacement of removing the vulcanite from a M3, which is the equivalent of like having your fillings removed from your teeth, and then installing a leather new leather covering to your camera body,
Yes.
and it was both exciting and fun and scary at the same time, if that makes any kind of sense. And I think I actually did utter one vulgarity in the video when I was doing it, but it's
Or did you censor it out?
I didn't censor it out, and YouTube didn't call me out on it either. So, but I would do it again, and I would consider doing it again. But it's not something that you want to, like, every camera you buy, you got to replace that. You don't want to be doing that. You know, you
That
just
was
want-
an impressive job that you did with that one, for
you
sure.
know, that was interesting. But
But
yeah,
Chuck,
I'll make up a list, and we'll have a little discussion about that, because I know, and like I said, many of you might say, well, you know, when I grew up, I had an F5 or an F6, or I had and I really liked that camera, and I'd like to get another one and just have it. And hey, you know, do stuff like that. You know, one of the first things I did in my camera collection is I had a mental note. The brain still worked good enough where I could make up a list of all the 35 millimeter cameras that I owned when I grew up. And then I went out and I got, you know, slowly but surely, I got every 35 millimeter camera that I owned when I grew up, plus some, plus a few. But you know, it's a fun thing to do. But like as Roy will tell you, you have to exercise these things too. So I'm in the process now of, I shot a roll of film on the M3 that I was fortunate enough to acquire. I just shot a roll today on a Nikon SP. I'm going to be throwing in another roll of film in the M3. I'm going to be probably putting a roll of film in that Topcon RE Super and taking some pictures with that. I have an old Exacta IHG, I'll probably pronounce it wrong, IHG Exacta V2A, I believe it is, which Chuck would find a kick out of that camera, because almost all the controls that you use are on the left-hand side of the camera, including the shutter releases on the front of the camera on the left-hand side. So they did that intentionally, and I have that camera right now out for repair. And I contacted the guy doing it for me, and I hope to have it within, say, the next three or so weeks, and then I will do a video on that, because that is a wicked cool camera. I think everybody will get a kick out of it. And you know, a German camera, you know, you can't knock German cameras. I mean, they knew what the hell they were doing, you know. And the Japanese copied them. So let's face it, you know, and a lot of the Japanese camera companies originally got shutters from German camera manufacturers. And eventually, you know, they had their own company that developed shutters and made some great shutters as well. But in the beginning, they imported a lot of specialty parts from Germany to put in the early Japanese cameras.
Jeff, you were telling me the other day that, and you mentioned that in your video, that you were not particularly happy with the amount of grain that you got from that film that you tested on the Leica camera, right?
Yeah, I
And then you
end up liking that film. Some people
exactly.
like a lot of grain, so it looked like a picture that was taken maybe in 1930. I'm not somebody that likes a lot of grain. I like fine grain film, so I've re-looked at the type of film that I want to buy, for whether it be 120 roll film or 35 millimeter film, whether it be black and white and color. I kind of made out a list of films that I'm gonna buy more often, that are going to give the results, providing I don't screw up, that are going to give me the results that I want.
Yeah. And that would be something great to share, correct? Because people, let's say, that has occasional film cameras that want to exercise it, it would be good to know what kind of if they want a lot of graininess, they can use this type of film. If they want something in color, they can use this. If they want something that is like slides, what is available in the market, since you have done some research. And Randall, you also have an assignment. Remember when I told you that to compare on the
Yeah, I
same
got 'em.
lens,
Yeah,
mounted on the film camera and on
right.
the digital camera.
Yeah. So I did a video on that. I can show that. But,
Okay, excellent.
yeah, and I like the process. I was just writing that I found some film that was over 5 years old that I left in an older film camera
Wow.
bag. So I tried using it and it didn't go. So I have to buy new film for the cameras.
If you're going to go to the paying, I think it's better to use fresh film. I think,
That's
Jeffrey,
right.
you have the same experience, correct?
Well, my friend Bob. Well, it's funny when I sent in 3 rolls of film recently. I was trying to remember what was on. I knew it was on one of the rolls, and I couldn't remember what was on the other 2. And then, as it turned out, that one of those rolls apparently was a roll that I took out of one of the old cameras that I had bought that had a roll of film in it that was rewound into the canister but was not removed and ever developed. And I think I threw it in my desk, and then I ended up sending it out, and it came back and it's pictures of people that I don't know. and the thing is that it was old enough where half the images didn't come out, and the ones that did had such a bad color shift. They were absolutely horrible. And my friend Bob had sent out a roll of film, color film, that was expired. I think was 2 years old, maybe.
Okay.
And he ended up with a slight color, almost looked like a light leak, but it wasn't a light leak, and it just had like a swirl of color that didn't belong in the image because the film was starting to break down. So, yeah, you want to make sure that you're using. You could probably get away. Albert would be a good one to ask this. I'm guessing that because of the science of film, that you'd probably get away with using an expired roll of black and white film much more easily than a expired roll of color film.
Black and white will have a much longer shelf life than color,
Yeah.
for sure.
Hey, Jeff,
Second was special again.
that old film that you find in the camera is like the 1960 version of OnlyFans. So you are the only one that can see the photos for those people.
Yeah, well, I didn't know them, I didn't take them, and I chucked them. But I hit myself in the head. I'm like, I see now. I'm getting now in my old age, I'm getting smarter. And one, because I want to catalog my negatives, is every roll of film I shoot now, the first thing I'm doing is going into a document and I'm writing down what camera I used, what type of film, what was the subject matter, when did I take the pictures, yada, 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 so that if I send in 3 or 4 rolls of film at a time, I will know which camera took which set of pictures.
Exactly.
Because I want to then label the envelope with the negatives and say, this was taken on a 50 something, Kodak or what have you, and this was taken on a 1960 Nikon, and I want to keep track of all that. So, but you get older, you get a little wiser, hopefully.
Well, and Jeff, remember that was the only way, correct? Except that camera that you have that had that stylus that you could write, correct?
Yeah, the old Kodak autographs where you had a window that you could open up and actually write a little note as to where you were when you took that picture or what the picture, is. You could say, Yellowstone, 1952 or whatever,
Exactly.
And it wouldn't be on the negative. It wouldn't be on the picture per se itself, but you would see it on the negative strip,
All right. We got a question here from Jim, real Nikon lover. So who's going to take that photo? Probably that question. Probably Roy first.
Well, you don't have to calibrate mirrorless lenses as much, but the old DSLRs you sometimes did. Depends on the lens. It's mostly for long lenses.
Yes.
Yeah, I myself never had an occasion where I had a result from a lens that to me warranted having to go through that process. I was lucky enough to where I was happy with what I was getting, but obviously some people want to fine tune it because they can fine tune it, and that's what they want to do. So it's whatever suits your fancy, but I like Roy said, nowadays with the quality of lenses that we have now versus what you had 30 years ago, 40 years ago, they're so much better, and technology is so much better that with the mirrorless cameras, you should not have to worry about that at all.
Yeah,
Well, mirrorless focuses differently.
Exactly. Yeah, and it compensate for anything, correct? And that may have happened during the manufacturing or the use of the lens. But Jim, I did do it on my long telephoto lenses because some of them were front focusing a little bit or back focusing a little bit, correct? So it was necessary. So I think I still have the some of this. Equipment that you need to set up. The problem was that if you set it up, let's say at 15 yards for the long telephoto lenses, then when you bring it to 20 yards or 100 yards, the back focusing, front focusing will be slightly different. So it was never an easy process. This is another case, Jeffrey, and that I'm glad that I don't have to do that anymore. Right? So we take the blessings of what we have today. But indeed, Jim, I used to do that.
All right.
So have you digitized your old photos yet, Gustavo?
No, I haven't started with that. I did. I actually have one of those Nikon digital equipments. I haven't used it for a while. I presume I understand looking at Grace of Westminster that Nikon still supports some of that, and it's possible to use that because those were high quality digitizing. But I haven't done it. It's always I'm more in search for the new stuff. But at one point I will, because there is some stuff that particularly like Chuck was saying with regard to family issues, correct? Family photos and places that you have visited. That's the best way. Right? That's important as well, Rakesh.
I think that's even with the Kickstarter program, that thing is extremely expensive.
Indeed, considering that
too expensive to make.
Considering that bag that I have, the thin roller
tank with the four
roller, it's $100 off already, and that is a fantastic roller bag, four-wheel roller bag. So indeed, Rakesh, I saw the video. It looks like a great design, but $500 something a Kickstarter, and that's like a 25% discount. Wow, they are pricing these to the roof.
Yeah.
I don't know it's sustainable at that price. They remember, the think tank is priced $200 less at this moment, and the PGI Tech that I review for you guys, that is also is even cheaper than the think tank. So I don't know. I mean, we know that Peak Design has excellent equipment, but wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's very pricey, even with their savings. Supporting the bag, it's still way up there. And then if you don't support it and get the discount and it comes out and it's regular price, you're really not going to afford it.
Exactly.
You'd have to be like a crazy traveling person that is on the road all the time. I
No,
mean, even then, it's like, I don't know.
Oh, and you have to. It doesn't come with divisions. You have to buy.
Right, you got to buy all their little pouches that they, you could either buy the one that holds lenses, or, well, I mean, that's their whole thing. You could buy the insert that's set up for lenses, or you can just buy and use it for clothes, or
Exactly.
any combination thereof, and compartmentalize it in different ways. And some people like that ability to say, well, I'm not doing a photo trip this week, but I got to travel on business. I'll put in the inserts that are for my, my shaving cream and this, that, or the other, and my clothes, and separate everything, and I'm happy, and I'll take the same roller. And then a week later, they go on a photo trip and they can put the insert in for the lenses and everything and do that. But I mean, that's just somebody at a cash register going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, I don't know why they price it so high.
It's really expensive.
Not competitive, but
I own some of their stuff. I bought their straps. I bought their clip, to for holding a camera and stuff like that. But
you have their tripod too.
I have their travel tripod too. But it's not like I don't like the brand, but at some point you hit a price barrier at some point,
Yeah, I prefer my Pelican cases. And I've got
Too heavy.
but the 4 rollers, David, is the big advantage.
Yeah, well, my Pelican cases, the thing I like about them is they can go in the back of my truck, and I don't have to worry about them. But if it was a soft case, whatever, I would never do that. It would be in the back seat.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And Albert, I think Chuck is referring to the B&H Built Expo.
The
Right.
Built Expo, right, in June.
Exactly. That we were talking about that early before you came into the show, but that we're trying to send somebody to that event to report.
Yeah, we got to get Albert. You got to get you and Ted and Chuck to go there and do a
live stream.
a serious investigation and
Exactly.
report back to the show as to what you liked, what you didn't like, what's new, what's improved. We need people from this show out on the ground. We need feet on the ground, as I say. We need feet on the ground, man.
Yeah, that's right, Mosman. Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, yeah.
Exactly.
And camera in hand.
Cameron.
Gustavo.
Yes, sir.
What do you have to wrapping up?
Oh, yes. Let's wrap up at 9 o'clock. So quickly here, let's get set.
Wait, I got something I wanted to talk about quickly.
Oh, please do.
So I don't know how many people have the latest iPhone with Apple Intelligence, but I'm not really into AI. I mean, I use it for some things, but I'm not like all about AI. But I took a picture of a bird today. I saw outside the window. I thought it was kind of cool.
Mhm.
And I didn't have my camera anywhere near, so I just took up my phone and I zoomed in and I took the photo of the bird. I'm not sure if you guys will see that or if it's even going to be in focus. But anyway, I took this photo of the bird, and then the next thing I went to do was to look it up to see if I can identify it. So I looked at the photo in the camera roll, and then Apple Intelligence already ID'd it for me. So it basically says right underneath, look up Black Phoebe. So it was a Black Phoebe. AI had already identified the bird. I didn't even need to go and look for it. I thought that was kind of cool because, it was something that I was interested in. I was going to look it up and I didn't even have to do it.
Oh, that's interesting. I got a bunch of flowers that I photographed in Hawaii that I will try to use all that, because otherwise I had to call either Jeff and Leslie,
tell you what flower it is.
or Martin, or
Or Martin.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna try that tomorrow. Yeah, try it. Yeah.
That's the right use for AI for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Um,
I don't want to keep this going unless anybody, because we took Jeff and Chuck.
You going with Rakesh? Are you gonna go there?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
meet the crew.
Yeah.
Yep, June 17th, 18th. Yeah. And
Exactly. The chance to meet with Rakesh.
I miss when I lived in Manhattan. I would go to all the shows at the Javits Center.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. All right,
once
guys. So
again, a big thank you to Chuck for everything he's done for the community, and like I said, we'll continue to do as a guest on the panel, and we'll try to make sure that Chuck keeps us in line, and you know, keeps everybody entertained as always. So we'll have a 2 week, basically, the next 2 weeks we won't be on. We'll have the photo review on April 5th. Please send in your photos, and then we'll have the next show on the 19th of April, which will be between 1.5 and 2 hours, with probably a mixture of what we've been trying to do with sharing and chatting and rumors and things of that nature, and fit as much as we can into a 2 hour format, 1.5 to 2 hour format, and then in the meantime, there will be consultations on moving forward on other things as well.
exactly.
So be patient with us. Don't kill the messengers, and Chuck will be with us all the way, and that's the most important thing. And we have a great panel of people that join us all the time. And once again, they're not just people I consider, we're all friends. We're all friends, and we would all help each other out in any way that we can. So let's keep that camaraderie alive and well on this channel, because that's what makes this different than a lot of the other ones. Well, we're not throwing stones. We're not name calling. We're not constantly, trying to stir the pot. We're just sharing our love for what we like to do, and that's what sets us apart from a lot of the other guys.
All right.
David,
Well,
anything?
I'm going to be gone for the next show. So I'll see you all in a month, and it'll be post tariff. So we see how everything went with that. But that's not going to affect me as much in Canada as it will you people down south of the 49th. And but anyway, just keep up the good work. Get out there and shoot. And as Scuba Rossi says, my camera is my dog. It gets me out of the house. So get going.
Depending on what you have, it's a pretty big dog sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's one I've been using is 5.4 kilograms. It's not that bad. Yeah, it's still lighter than a dog.
Tim, any kind of parting words here?
Yeah, a couple. David, just wait for those restream tariffs to kick in. We'll see what you have to say then. And no, I just wanted to say thank you to Chuck for his vision, and Jeff touched on this earlier in the stream, and just kudos to Chuck, man. Thank you. Round of applause for Chuck.
Thank you very much.
Randall?
Well, just keep trucking. There's a lot of wildfires going on all over the world. The winds are picking up.
Here too.
Yeah, I know.
I got one out the window.
Is it still raining there? Is it still raining?
It's rained for a while. I don't think it put the fire out though.
Oh boy. Watch
I
out.
can see piles of smoke out the window. I keep
Oh.
getting warnings to leave the house.
So which
Well-
camera are you going to take, Roy?
Sorry,
Which camera are you going to take?
I can't make up my mind, so I'm going to have to stay.
Right, Roy, say bye-bye, or the party
Yeah,
word for
if Roy had to leave, there'd be an 18-wheeler pulling up with 10 guys that load all his camera gear in the back of it. He'd say, "The heck with the furniture, just the
Yeah.
camera gear. Don't worry about anything else."
I have to start packing it back in bags, I think.
All right, Roy. So you're
Bye.
departing. Bye. Same for me. Thank you, Chuck, again, and bear with us for the transition. We will keep in contact. We will please send us your suggestion
Emails.
for the name, and
Email.
allow us to send the emails. Send the emails. Send the photo for the photo review in April 5th. And remember, Friday before is the deadline. We want to see the community participating. That's all that I have for today, guys. Thank you so much. And Chuck, you close the show. You final departing word from you.
All right.
We want to see your face before we go.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Well, you can hide me.
Well, I don't know what it, I don't.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
Don't worry
my
about it.
husband's got his partner there.
Yeah. It's, it's good night. It's good night. Good to be up and my wife is she's just stopped. All right.
See you guys.
Goodbye.
Take care, everybody. See you next time.
No.